Hey YouTube, it's Andrew the Bearded Giant. Thanks for joining me tonight. Tonight is January 10th, and we are doing live from the shed. I have a room full of people, and hopefully they stay throughout the show. All right. So, I'm. Oh shoot, I do it all the time. So I had a busy week this week at work. We had a contractor kind of spill a lot of water, like a lot of water, and we had to respond and help them take care of that. That was on Tuesday, and today was a fire marshal walk at one of our smaller campuses, and it went well. There were no findings, which was perfect. That's exactly how we want it to go. But there's, a great deal of effort put in up front, running up to it, getting all your paperwork in order and organized. So when the fire marshal asks to see when X, Y, or Z was last tested, you can go here, here, and here to prove that you're doing your job. And then you walk them around the facility. But wasn't Fire Marshal Bill, but that would have been entertaining. Yeah, no, this was Fire Marshal Doug. Fire Marshal Doug. Not quite as not quite as funny as Bill. But yeah, so the two campuses I deal with or under my umbrella, they are each in different jurisdictions. That's the Hillsborough Fire Department Fire Marshal, and then the other one is in a town called Aloha, and that's Tualatin Valley Fire District, and that's where I was today. So, yeah, it was a lot of effort up for a kind of what you'd say ho hum walk is what you want. You want the fire marshal to not find anything, and obviously because we do a good job. But yeah. Oh, did you lose me? I'm still here. Yeah, I'm right here. So, I was thinking today about circles and what they have effect on my life, and I realized they're pointless. See if any of you laugh. I hope you do, because that was my joke. That was my joke for tonight. Oh, so this I had a brief brief downtime where I was going from one meeting to another, and I saw on content creators some of you folks were having a voice chat, and I hadn't seen that you guys had done that before. So I stopped in to say hi and chat. Yeah, a dull pencil is pretty pointless. Uh, all right, I'll wait for you, Robert. We won't go any. I won't talk anymore. I promise. All right, guys, let's talk about Robert. He's out of the room. So, yeah, that was interesting. Well, the content creators is hosted on a Discord server, and Discord has primarily catered towards gamers, and that makes sense that there's a good voice chat, um, room chat feature, because when you are gaming with a group of other like-minded folks, you want to have your headset on and talk about who you're going to shoot and where you're going to go, and you go high, I go low, you know, all that jazz. So anyway, Content Creators was having a voice chat, and it apparently someone's channel got shut down. Hey Heidi! Oh, you're saying hi to Gil, the bearded woodworker. I thought maybe you're saying hi to Andrew, the bearded giant, but I get it. He has a nice accent. So, yeah. So we should do some more of those chats in the voice thing, especially around a topic. You know, I guess you could do a Gil, do you have a nice singing voice? You and Gary should do a duet. You can harmonize. Thanks, Heidi. Hello to you. Remember I showed you guys my idea for a spinning cart deal? Well, this part came in. Right here. It's a pillow. Oh, you know, I missed that. I'll have to watch. I'll have to watch your singing video. I'm sorry I missed that, Gil. So this is a pillow block bearing that I'm going to use. And at the scrapyard last weekend, I picked up a bunch of things, but I found this cutoff, which is pretty long. It's a 1/2 inch rod, or almost a 1/2 inch. It's a little big, a little larger than a 1/2 inch. So as you can see, I was experimenting and sanded down the end to get that to fit in here. And that, I don't know if you can see it, but that's what will rotate my flip table. And I've been going over and over, I've been going over and over the plans in my head on how to build this. This is still the basic design, but as you can tell, that's very basic. It doesn't really show any detail. I am looking at doing now one tool on one side and 2 tools on the other. Because the DeWalt saw is much wider than the Porter cable saw, and I would have extra real estate on the Porter cable side. And since I use that to cut metal, I'm going to put my bench grinder also in that location. So when I'm working on metal, I'll have my chop saw up and the bench grinder. Because I don't really see using the bench grinder at the same time as the DeWalt. Yeah, so Sam, I looked at a bunch of videos of flip top or flip around workstations, and they all basically have the same design idea, and that's what you're talking about there, using some conduit. And I like them. I think they I think they work great, but I'm just an okay woodworker. I am not a great woodworker. I am fine. I do decent. So I'm trying to teach myself the welding, so I want to incorporate as much welding as I can. So I'm going to do a metal base, and then I'll do the wood top because I think that's easier. And then I'll use these bearings and this rod that I found in scrapyard. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be my own take. It'll be my own take. There'll be definitely some inspiration from the classic flip top cart that you see most guys make. And I think Gary could easily make that style of cart. I'm just not set up to do that sort of woodworking. Anyway, yeah, so what I got going on here, you guys are talking about how much room you need in a shop. I do not have the space that some people have. Where's my little flip around symbol? I know it's on here somewhere. There it is. So as you can see, my chop saw is lighter. So what I'm going to do is mount this bench grinder sort of like that. So grinder. My shop is 14 feet long. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, I'll sit back down. I'll sit back down. I don't want you guys to buffer. I want you to stay with me. Yeah, my shop is 14 feet long, and I want to say 10 feet wide, but I'll measure it real quick here. Yeah, about 10 feet 8 inches wide. So actually, I'm going to say my shop is 14 feet 8 inches long and 10 feet 8 inches wide. So basically 140 square feet with 9 feet to the rafters. So how big is your shop, Bob? What is it, like 40 by 50? You got a 2,000 square foot shop? Oh. Am I just buffering real bad with you guys? Yeah, my 36 by 68. I think that's larger than my house, Bob. My house is 744 square feet. Well, not heated. I guess you can't have everything, Bob. If you put a nice wood stove in there, you could heat it. What was I gonna say? Oh, you know who I have shop envy is my uncle. He has 2 shops on his property. He has one set up as a auto mechanical shop space with a lift. And then he has a larger shop with woodworking and a game room, family room, party room type thing. I guess man cave. Whereas this is my shed. Oh. Speaking of uncles, Sam's boy Elijah and I have something in common. We each received a hand-me-down vise from our uncles. And each of our vices we got from our uncles was missing a handle. So I think it was yesterday, Sam was working with Elijah in his shop, and Elijah was making a handle out of a bolt. So that was kind of cool. Brandon, your shed will be 9x7. Are you going to make it a, well, you have a garage, Brandon. If you have a garage, that would be a better workshop. So will your shed be like lawn equipment and edgers and lawnmowers and those sorts of things? Yeah. So Brandon has a I don't know if it's a 2-car garage or a 1.5-car garage. It's big. I'd say it's 2-car. He has a 2-car garage, but he has. They just moved there last year, maybe year before. Anyway, so he still has that. What didn't make it into the house syndrome sitting in his garage, which is, I think, pretty common. I think that's pretty common. Hey, John Doe, welcome. Yeah. But Brandon's also a avid outdoorsman, fisherman, and I think he could probably fill up a 2-car garage with all his fishing equipment, his rods and reels and tackle, and he makes his own rods and ties, lures, makes lures and all that stuff. It's a little bit, something's going on. So that's cool. So this is my space, and you guys come and join me here every week, and I appreciate that. That's why I call it Live from the Shed. It's where I do my live streams. Hi Jennifer, how are you doing? I am not going to bend anything tonight. I don't think so. Well, I want to keep this 1/2-inch bar stock straight, so I'm not going to bend that. Bend this. I didn't have time. Usually during the day, I take a few moments to make some notes as to what I'm going to talk about during the live show at night, but I didn't have time today. Yes, Jennifer, I was talking about you. I mentioned that you guys have recently bought a new home and have moved in, and Brandon's shop space in the garage has the we just moved into a new house itis, and the things that haven't made it into the house yet are out in the garage. Random thoughts with the bearded giant. Yeah. Has it been 2 years? Wow. Wow, 2 years. It just seems like it was just last year you guys moved in there. Anyway. Yeah, so Brandon and Jennifer are friends of mine who live in the next town over, 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away. Not too far. And yeah. So it sounds like, Brandon, when you get your 9x7 shed put up, you can clear out some space. Or move all that stuff into your guest bedroom. Let's see, what do we got going on? So this coming weekend, I am having another game night. So I board game with some buddies. One of my gaming buddies, he and I have been gaming for 20 plus years. 22, 23 years. And we still get together and play board games We don't video game as much. But anyway, so Saturday is another game day. And then Sunday, I'm going over to a coworker's house. Apparently someone dropped off a load of cedar in their driveway and they don't want it. And I said I would be happy to come over, cut it up, and take it away because I will burn it. Yeah. Yeah, a few of you might game. There's a game that we play called Gloomhaven. It's a board game, and we play probably twice a month. And we've determined it will take us 4 years to complete it if we continue to play 6 hours twice a month. So 12 hours a month, it will take us maybe 4 years to complete the game. That's the kind of dorks we are, where we don't play Monopoly. We play these never-ending games that you don't really win. You just continue on playing and playing. I have a big chunk of cedar in my driveway I could make something with. I also have, haven't seen it yet, but I have been told I can come over and cut down a walnut tree that needs to be taken out of someone's yard. Apparently the base is about 6 inches, and so I was thinking I could take some sections of that walnut and set it aside and let it cure, and then I could use that walnut to make some knife handles. I think that would make some real nice knife handles. Yeah. Yeah, I'll make something with the cedar. I'll also burn it, but I'll make something. I'll come up with some projects for it. I've been watching some folks who have mills, either chainsaw mills or bandsaw mills. Northwest Sawyer has a real nice mill. There's another guy who has another guy has a Harbor Freight mill, and he was cutting some slabs with that, and that worked out pretty well. I don't have space for a mill, but ooh, a cedar triangle stand. I could do that. And some chainsaw art with homemade cigar humidors. I don't smoke cigars, but I could try one. I think just a little cedar box would be cool. Hey, Dylan's Woodwork, thanks for coming by. Gary got an attachment to add to his angle grinder that carves wood. So yeah, maybe I should borrow that from him or bring him some cedar so he can do some carving. Gary did a mural in a town called Reedsport at like I want to call it a timber park, but that might not be the right term for it. It's a timber town. The history is lumber, but they hold an annual carving contest where they carve statues and whatnot from chainsaw. And he did a nice mural there. Cedar planks for cooking salmon and steelhead, yes. I would ask Brandon what the correct dimensions would be for cedar plank to do that. But I do know guys do that. Well, they'll cook on a little cedar slab. A beam machine. Yeah. There's some pretty cool stuff. Do you guys know about that trick? I'm sure you do, but do you know about that trick? If you got some fresh cut lumber that you do yourself, you can stack it with spacers, like in your backyard. Put a tarp over it, and then set a bug bomb off under the tarp, and it'll kill all the little critters in there. Uh, yeah, I need a dozen cedar plank this big. Oh, yeah. All right. Do we have audio now? I just unplugged the mic. I'm not gonna mess around with troubleshooting it. I'll just unplug it. Oh, yeah. Whew. I had a good laugh at that. That was a good one. Yeah, my neighbor when I lived in Portland, my neighbor would cook salmon on a cedar plank. He also would smoke a turkey out on his barbecue too. He was always barbecuing. So, yeah, I want to. Some of you guys don't report into an office, so you have a bit more freedom to work on your projects. But I almost need to take a vacation so I can get some stuff done. But I'm really kind of excited about this flip top, flippable cart. I have a very small bandsaw as well. Uh, yeah, time freedom, but not so much the money freedom. Like, it's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Those of us who slave in the office get that regular paycheck, but we don't necessarily take the time or use our time as wisely as we should. So anyway, this flip top thing, I'm excited because it will take up half. Yeah, there's an inverse relationship between time and money, right? You have more time, less money. You have more money, you have less time. But this flip top cart will, I think, take up about half the footprint of what I'm using at the moment, which is a couple of 6-foot plank sitting on some sawhorses. And then it will also be mobile, so I can move it out of the way and spin it around. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, what I was saying is I have a small tabletop bandsaw that I will need to bring out here too at some point. I don't see using it a ton, so it might be one of those things where it gets stored on a shelf and I take it down and use it on top of my welding table. Beef stew over mashed potatoes. That sounds a little bit like a shepherd's pie. No, shepherd's pie is mashed potatoes over beef stew. So upside down shepherd's pie. Nice. I think Robert should cook for us someday. Let's all go to Robert's house and have some stew. It's a good idea. Pie's shepherd. Yeah. Instead of shepherd's pie, it's pie's shepherd. What else is going on? That new Captain Marvel movie's coming out here soon. I'm looking forward to breaking away to see that. Yeah, there's a Irish pub in Portland that makes a real good shepherd's pie. Upcoming content from my channel. Well, my content is based mostly on the goals, the broad strokes of what I said. So making this cart and putting an awning over my front door of the shed. And I've got to get working on that soapbox car because that race is in August, and if I'm not careful, the time will slip by between now and then. If I can get the frame built, I think the most time-consuming part will be the steering mechanism, because that will take some engineering, and I have to determine what wheels I'm going to use. Some guys kept telling me I should buy up some children's bicycles off of Craigslist and use those wheels. But I almost want a smaller, fatter wheel, like maybe sort of like a wheelbarrow wheel. Yeah. Is that what you... It's tough to find that person, Bob, to work for you at the reasonable rate, who is trustworthy and good, you know. Because you can hire some trunk slammers, folks that will come in and do a quick, dirty job, put their tools in their trunk, slam it, and drive away, and you never hear from them again. And that's an issue. Yeah. I don't know if I'm actually going to use a wheelbarrow tire, but that's just what I'm envisioning. Something fat and round like that. I think, because I know Harbor Freight sells some wheels, and they might be good for like one day of runs, and then they get trashed. Or maybe I look at what someone suggested and actually go out and scour Craigslist and find like some 12-inch kids bicycle wheels, a wagon wheel. Yeah, the cart will probably be about 1,000 pounds, so they can't be too sketchy. They need to be able to hold up. And for brakes, I was thinking of using some disc brakes like what you'd find on a mountain bike. Yeah. You're right, Sam. That probably wouldn't hold up. Bald ATV tires. You know, there's an outfit. Funny enough, there's an outfit in town that works on golf carts. Should go check with them and see if they have any used wheels and tires that I could look into. A solid tire used on the front of front deck mowers. Yeah. All those are good ideas. So finding I can sketch out the basically rack and pinion type steering, but you almost have to work from the tire size back so your dimensions are correct. Yeah, so yeah, the cart will be hauling Gary and I down a steep hill with throngs of people cheering us on. Do they rule the limit of the wheel size? There are some rules to follow, like the dimensions of the cart can't be more than 5 feet wide, more than 10 feet long, or 8 feet long. So I'm thinking 4x8 footprint. There's also a weight limit. It can't exceed the cart by itself cannot exceed 500 pounds, and you can have 1 to 3 passengers or 1 to 3 occupants in the cart. No sharp, pointy things on it. Wow, I didn't think about live streaming it. I definitely have been thinking about a couch on wheels. I've definitely been thinking about filming it and making a playlist out of it. I have a GoPro Hero 5 Black that I can easily mount on it, and then various people on their phones. Yeah, I'm not going to build a car though, like with drum brakes or something. Flintstone style brakes. Well, some people have simple levers that they pull up, and they adhere like a piece of car tire to the bottom, and they just simply pull up on these levers to do friction stopping. Uh, Brakes are for sissies. Oh yeah, trash bags, that should work. Well, we would probably upgrade to contractor bags because they're a little bit heavier duty. Uh, yeah, definitely the speed cars have tall, skinny wheels. The cars that are going for speed will be in the art car category. Um, but so coming down the hill, there's several turns, so it has to be maneuverable. And then at the finish line, there is a nice long straight stretch that you can stop. And they do a very good job at crowd control, keeping the people back between each heat. If you guys go and look at my video I did August of 2018, you'll see an example of a little bit of that crowd control. Yeah, we're talking about a pirate theme. Uh, I'm leaving a bit more of the artistic flair up to Gary, and I'm going to focus more on the structural frame. And the idea is, if I do this right, I can have a frame that we can use year after year and then change out the upper portion to whatever theme we want, whether it's pirate or spaceship or whatever. Uh, oh yeah, a boat trailer tire, a boat trailer tire. It's not a bad idea. It's funny you say that, Robert, about the cannons. We can have water. We can shoot water. We can't shoot any physical object. But you can shoot water into the crowd. Boat anchor. Don't I work at a university? I work at Intel. I work for a property management company who has an account at Intel. So yes, there's plenty of smart people there. But I think they would over-engineer my design. Pneumatic cannons with water. Interesting. They didn't say that the water couldn't be in solid form. Shooting ice pellets. Oh, that'd be horrible. Oh. Oh. Imagine getting hit with an ice chunk out of a potato gun. What will be our flag? Ooh. Maybe on one side of the flag we can have my YouTube channel logo, and the other side of the flag we can have Gary's YouTube channel logo. Yeah, oh, there we go. A nice, the bearded giant, the bearded woodworker, youtube.com. Yeah, maybe I can pick up some new subscribers from that. Oh, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So last year, 2018, was the first time I went and saw this race. I had known about it forever, and I just never went to see the event. I don't know why I didn't, but when I got there, it was really cool. Sponsors. Maybe I can put a Self-Reliant Roadshow sticker on the side of it. Yeah, Bob. Have you thought about making Self-Reliant Roadshow media kits to send out? Little trifold pamphlets, some stickers, some business cards. Whole media kit. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, media kit on the webpage. I saw that. So, Mom, if you're still in the chat, here's a mission for you. Keep an eye out for some old snowmobiles. circles on it. So my mom lives up on at the base of our major mountain in Oregon, Mount Hood. So there are snowmobiles up there. Ooh. I think we'd have a very popular cart if we handed out bratwurst. An old riding lawnmower too, yeah. A lot of good ideas, guys. I was just gonna fab everything up from scratch. Use some 5/8 bolts. I've been collecting some stuff in anticipation. Oh, so a lot of those tires, like you get at Harbor Freight and different places, use a 5/8 diameter hole. So I found some 5/8 diameter bolts. These are different sizes. Hopefully I have two of the same size. I've been collecting some pieces. An ATV frame. Yeah, I've seen some that are cannibalized bicycle stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see how it goes. I'll see how it goes. Maybe I can come up with some of these. My pillow block bearings. I'm 4 wheels, Brandon. 4 wheels. Unless we do 4 in the back and 2 in the front. Yeah, I'm not in the speed division, in the artistic division. Although, I mean, if we go at a pretty good clip, it's not a shallow hill. It's pretty steep. There are no 3-wheel bridge cars. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, when they took that 3-wheeled car and they tipped it over, tank taking the corner, that was funny. Hood ornament has to be a triangle. Yeah. Let's come up with something interesting for that. You also have to have a tow connection on the front and rear of the car, because they'll have a truck to pull you back to the top of the hill. And you run several heats in a day, 5 or 6 times running down the hill. Should be pretty cool. Yeah, it'll be some great video. It'll be some great video from that, yeah. A tail dragger. Tail dragger. What's a tail dragger, Brandon? Is that like for braking, or have 2 wheels in the front and 1 in the back? Is that a tail dragger? I don't know what that means. Oh, 3rd wheel in the back. Yeah, that's much more stable. Those, is it Polaris? I'm not sure who makes those trikes. When I see you, I think Falcor. Oh yeah, Can-Am. Yeah, those Can-Ams. I have not tried one. I'd like to give it a test ride. I think it'd be fun. There's a dealer in Portland, and maybe one day I'll go in and pretend like I'm interested in buying one. The little rascal. So when I was when I was a kid, some other kids in the neighborhood, we made some very simple versions of soapbox cars to run down the hill. Because the town we lived in had several hills. It was basically built on the side of a hill. And we started out using like lawnmower tires and bolting them on to like 2x4 or 2x6 pieces in the back, and just a simple bolt through a plank with another like a 2x4 in the front with lawnmower tires on it and some ropes on it to steer. We drag them up the hill and ride them back down. And then someone figured out to put skateboard trucks and wheels in the four corners and go down on that, and it was so much faster. And then we started just stripping off all the extra things, and we'd lay on it kind of like a bobsled luge sort of thing. Try to get going really fast. I don't remember if we even had brakes. Well, we could make it look like a radio flyer. No, we did not wear helmets. But in this race, you have to wear helmets. So, yeah, in this race, in this race, you have to wear a helmet if you're a participant. But no, as a kid, we didn't do that. We didn't wear helmets for anything. Sounds like an 80s toy that they didn't make one like you're describing. 50 inline skate tires, yeah. We also would take those big wheels where, yeah. We we could wear leathers. look like actually no one would probably notice if Gary and I were in leathers going down the hill. It's Portland. No one would even take a second look at us. Kevin, thanks for joining us. We're kind of making fun that I made it through my childhood alive with the antics that I used to do. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, look at that. We've almost wasted an hour, or consumed an hour chatting with each other. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Pretty good turnout. Now that Kevin's here, we can get the party started. Yeah, so Kevin, we're Gary and I are gonna get into some leather chaps, leather vests, and blacked out helmets, and we're gonna go cruising down hills in Portland, Oregon, in a big radio flyer wagon. Oh yeah, we did talk about shepherd's pie, Kevin. There was some discussion about shepherd's pie earlier. That was nice. Oh yeah, I broke my mic earlier, Kevin. I don't know what happened. I'll have to play around with that later. Maybe as his fur ball. So, Sam and Kevin, it's only been a couple of weeks now, but how has your two new channels been received by the community? I know Sam did a little, oh, Data's doing great. She's inside, curled up in a fuzzy blanket. So I have a lazy boy, and at night she'll hop up on the arm and of the lazy boy, like when I'm going to go to bed, and she wants me to put this fuzzy blanket where I sit so she can hop down in it and curl up in it and sleep there at night. So that's kind of been our routine here for a few weeks since it's been cold. Surprising uptake in your views of your shop tour. Good. Good. And Kevin, you have a new video coming out for making sawdust? Nice. Yeah. Well, Sam, I really enjoyed popping in when you and Elijah were just, I don't know what you're doing, goofing off in the shop, and Elijah was working on his little workbench and whatnot. It was really cool. Uh, yeah. Thursdays. I'm just babbling, just kind of sitting here reading your things. It's not very exciting, is it? Ooh, you doing something for Robert, Kevin? That's cool. So, I know it's a little early to announce, but I'll give you guys a teaser. Elijah and I are going to collaborate on a project. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. I have a new collaboration partner, and his name is Elijah. And apparently my project will be black and white, and his project will be green and orange, I think. Yes. he, he, he did name off about 1,000 colors. Ooh, hey, Sam. So over by Elijah's workbench, sort of to the lower and to the right of that panel, there is some blank wall space. What about putting up a little whiteboard for him to draw on, so he can kind of sketch out his ideas of what he wants to work on, and then that would make a nice visual for us, you know, from a camera perspective, since he does enjoy sketching things out. If he had a whiteboard at his level, you know, to kind of down and below that panel, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. And then he could have some different colors, you know, yeah, red, blue, green, black. Yeah. Just keep the Sharpies away from it. you could even make a whiteboard. You could just get a nice flat. Well, technically you don't even need a board. You can just use your wall space. Get some whiteboard paint. Get a quart of it, and mask off an area. Roll it out with whiteboard paint, and then you can outline the border with some, you know, 1x2s or something, and then he has his own little space. Yeah, that could be his project. He could, yeah, you could do that to the doors. He gets one and you get the other. Brainstorm space. Yeah. Yeah. Miter the quarters, miter the quarters. Yeah. Corners. Andrew, speak English. And then putting the border up, you know, Elijah could use the brad nailer and, you know, and just throw a couple nails in. Yeah. Walmart has wallpaper stuff that's dry erase. That's cool. Yeah. What time is it there, Sam? It's 5:30 in the Pacific. So is that 8:30 or 9:30 there? It's 8:30. Yeah. 8:30. Yeah. What projects I have coming up? Well, I was talking about my flip top bench earlier. I discussed last week. This part, the pillow bearing came in. I have 4 of these. I only need 2 for the project, but I bought a 4-pack. And then last weekend I was at the scrapyard and I found this 1-inch, it's slightly larger than the 1 inch. I had to sand down the end just a little bit, rod that fits nicely in here. And that will be the rotation of my flip top bench. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm also working on a platform to attach my vise, and that was in one of my videos where I was testing out a new blade. I found this 8-inch or 10-inch wide 8-gauge channel iron. That was a little bit, it was plasma cut at the bottom and 45-degree cut at the top. So I cut it to a 10x10, and this will, I'll mount my vise to this, and then I'll basically make a trailer hitch attachment that will slide in underneath my welding table, and my vise will probably live there almost exclusively. But if I need to move it out of the way, I can unpin it and pull it out and set it out of the way. So those are kind of the two projects I have milling about right now. Hey, good night, Bob. I'm gonna take this opportunity, since it's been just about an hour, I'm gonna take this opportunity to thank you all for coming tonight, and we're gonna sign off. I'll see you same bat time, same bat channel next Thursday at 4:30 Pacific time. thank you all for coming, and I'll chat with you on content creators.